What's up, guys? Hope your day's going well, and it's about to get a whole lot better because I'm about to take you note by note through that entire cover of Dance Monkey that I just played for you. The song structure is going to be verse, pre-chorus, chorus 1, and then chorus 2, and I'm going to walk you through the entire thing. If you want to make it easier for yourself, then you can get the tabs by clicking on the link in the description below. I just want to give a quick shout out to my boy, Andrew Foy. This is a simplified version of his cover of Dance Monkey, and if you're here from his video, welcome to the channel. One final thing before we get started, if you are looking for a complete step-by-step guide to fingerstyle guitar, you can check out my course and get a free trial and the link in the description below this video. Okay, let's get started with our capo on the 2nd fret. Make sure to tune up your guitar, and let's get started with the first part, which is the verse. Okay, so we're going to start off the verse with a little bit of a lead-in. So all I'm doing there is on the B string, starting with my pinky on the 4th fret, and sliding right to the 5th, and then 2nd finger on the 3rd fret. If you can't do any of the techniques like slides or hammer-ons or pull-offs throughout this video, you can just leave them out and just pick each of the notes individually, and it'll sound almost the same and be a lot easier to play. But we're going to slide in. And on that 3rd fret, and there's our little lead-in, and then we're going to start this bar. So we're going to start, first finger on D2, pinky on B5, then alternate to B3 and back to B5. Then B3 and D2 again. So, and then 5, 3, 5. And then end on E3 to E2. So then you're going to end that with your 2nd finger on E3 and then 1st finger on E2. And that's that first bar. Then moving to the 2nd bar, you're going to keep that 1st finger on that fret and then move your 2nd finger down to A3 and keep this one ringing out. And then you're going to alternate twice between A3 and then the open G and B strings. Then go back up to your 2nd finger on E3, then end on E2. So all together so far we've got this. Then again you're going to hold that E2 note and then play open D string. And then pull off to the open E string, and then hit the open E string again. And again, like the slide, if that pull off is too hard, then you can just pick both notes individually and it'll sound really similar. That pull off just adds a little bit of smoothness. So then all together. Then second finger on B3, first finger on G2, and then play D, G, and B strings. Then open E, then back to B3, open E, then third finger, and this one's important, third finger on E3, second finger on E2, and then first finger on A2. So that little bit, you've got so then you can see that little run there where that fingering becomes important. Because otherwise you won't be able to reach this string. So then after that, you're going to put your second finger on B3 and your third finger on G4 and alternate between the A string and these two strings twice. Then E0, and then back to B3. So all together now we've got this. Okay, so right there we've got the first half of the verse. Now the second half of the verse is going to be almost the same. We're actually going to be identically repeating the first 3 bars of that. So we're repeating this bit. And then we're ending the verse with a D chord. And if you can arpeggiate it, do that, it'll give it a smoother sound. But you can just strum all the chords at the same time if that's easier for you. And when you're trying to arpeggiate, you want to think of it more as a single strum than trying to necessarily pick each of them individually. Try it a little bit, it's going to take some practice to get, but just try it once or twice every time you play this. And if you screw up, you want to sound more like you're just picking it at the same time as opposed to individually ringing out each one. It's just basically a strummed chord, just with a little bit of a lead in from each note to the next. Like I'm almost playing all those at the exact same time. It's just slightly earlier, which gives it that little bit of a smoother feel to it. And with that, you've got the whole verse. So what we've got so far at slow speed is this. So then we're going to go to this part at the end of the verse, which is this little slide thing. So to play this, we're going to put first finger on G2 and pinky on E5. And then you're going to really quickly slide these fingers up 2 frets. And the key here is you really want to do it really quickly. There's almost no time spent on this first note. And the other key to doing this slide smoothly is to make sure you keep the pressure on your fingers as you slide along so that your note stays ringing out. So instead of letting go, where you get the buzz and the note kind of stops, you keep the pressure on as you slide. So you get the second note ringing out clearly. Then after that, you're going to go back to that first chord. And the key to this last bar here, the chord and then your slide, is you want them to be really sharp and punchy. So you want to hold the chord just really quickly. And then the slide again, really quickly. So then those last two bars of the verse are going to be... So you can see they're very sharp, staccato, and punchy. Alright, so then we're going to move into the pre-chorus, which is section B if you're following along with the tab. We're going to start with our pinky on E5, our third finger on B5, and then your second finger on G4. You're going to play open E string, and then these top three strings. So that's our first chord. Basically what we're going to do here is an alternation between this chord, and then taking your pinky off and putting your first finger on G3. That's your second chord. So we're going to alternate back and forth between these two chords 3 times. And then you're going to play the bass line with your thumb on the E string on the first and the fourth chord. So it's going to be... So that's going to be on the second time you're playing this chord. Then you're going to play first finger on E2 and play E and B string. Then hammer on to the 3rd fret. And then put your first finger on the 1st fret. And slide right to the 2nd fret. So that little bit is... So then you put that into that bar, and you've got... Then you put your second finger on A3. Then move your third finger up to B3. And then play open B and E. So you've got... Then you can go back to your A3 twice more. Then third finger on E3 and play the E and B strings. So that's... So up to now in the pre-chorus, we've got... Then open D, back to E3, open D, E2, open D, pull off to E0, play that twice more, and then end on E3. So that bar on its own is going to be... Now, if you add that in with the pre-chorus, what we've got so far is... And with the rhythm with this, it's really hard to follow along with the rhythm when I'm playing it really slowly. So you're going to want to listen to what it sounds like at a little bit of a faster speed and try and replicate that. I'm just playing it really slowly here so you can find the actual notes, but the timing, really just listen to it. It'll be way easier to follow along with the timing of the full speed song than trying to figure it out by what I'm playing at really slow speeds. Then moving into the next bar, we're going to play this. So we're on first finger on A2 and pinky on E5. Then you play A again, and with your pinky slide to the 7th fret. Then end first finger on the 3rd fret. So, full pre-chorus together, what we've got so far is this. Then we're going to move into another similar bar to that first one, just with a little bit of different notes. So here, again, we're playing this open E string on the 1st and the 4th chord. And our chord this time is going to be alternating between E2 and B0, and then E0 and B0. And we're alternating between those two 3 times with your E string on the 1st and the 4th chord. And then open E twice, E3. And one key with these chords is, if you can, you do want to make them kind of choppy or staccato. And how you can do that is, instead of playing the chords right after each other, you can actually rest your fingers on the string for just a fraction of a second to give it a little bit of a choppier feel, and you insert a little bit of silence. So you actually have a chord, silence, next chord. And then when you get faster, it's just a really choppy staccato kind of feel. So that bar once again is, and you put your 2nd finger on A3 and play that 3 times. Then move your 1st finger up to B1 and then keep your 3rd finger on E3. 3, 3, 2. So that part of the pre-chorus is now. And one thing to try for here is a transition between the choppy staccato of these 2 chords and then nice smooth held notes with this low bass note, which kind of gives it a contrasty transition feel between the 2. So you can feel it's very choppy at one spot, and then it gets nice and smooth, which makes it just more interesting to listen to. So then after you do this, then you're going to play D0, pull off to 0 on the E string, D chord, then open E, 2nd fret, open D, open E, then 3rd fret on B string and play E and B, then pinky on the 3rd fret of the E string, and then end with a short D chord. So that's a little tricky to follow, but again, listen to it at the faster speed and try and get the rhythm based on that. And with that, we have almost the entire pre-chorus. You're going to end with your pinky on the 5th fret of the B string twice as the lead into the chorus. And with that, we've got our entire pre-chorus. So slow all together, that's going to sound like this. And now to finish it off with the final section, which is the chorus, and that's section C if you're following along with the tab. So we're going to start, third finger on E3, then we're going to play E, G, B, and E strings. And what we're going to be doing for this part is a chord and then 2 notes a few times. So this bar is... So we're starting on this chord, and then you're going to play the E string twice, but you're going to play it first with your second finger on the right hand, and then with your first finger. That's the only way you're going to be able to get it at a decent speed, and it kind of gives you a faster way to pick. If you were to try and do this with just the third finger, you'd have a really tough time playing it at speed. So you are going to want to focus on these fingers and kind of a back and forth motion. Then we're going to do the same thing with our second finger on E2 on the left hand. And we're going to do the chord, and then on the right hand, second finger, first finger. So we've got... So then after that, you're going to play the open E, G, B, and E string. Then back to the E3 twice. Then open E. And then, next bar, we're going to go and place a normal C chord. And you're going to play the A string, and then the next 3 strings below that. Then these strings again, and then back to the A, and then back to these strings. So... Then we're going to do a little run up on D string, G string, B string, still holding that C chord with our left hand. And when you're playing that B string, you're also going to move your pinky to the third fret of the E string and play that at the same time. So, and then play the E string again, and then move the second finger to E2 and play that. So, you add that in with the first bar. Then moving on, we're going to do open D string, then a D chord. And then here, after that D chord, you're going to hold your G and B string, and then do a pull-off 4 times in a row from E2 to E0. So... Again, like always, if that pull-off is too hard, you can just pick both notes. but give the pull-off a try, and that's the only way to get better is by practicing things. So you're going to play that. And the only difference is on the third E2, you're going to also play that fourth string again. So then you're going to move your pinky onto E3 and leave your third finger where it is and play these two strings. And then end that bar on E2. So adding that to what we've got in the chorus so far, we've got this. Then you're going to move your first finger up to A2 and then play open E and B at the same time. Then hammer on to E3 with your third finger. And then you're going to alternate between A2 and the open E and B twice. And that right there is the first half of the chorus. Now, don't be scared off now because the second half is almost the same thing. So here's what we've got so far for the chorus. Okay, so then moving into the second half of the chorus, it's going to be very similar, and we're going to play the exact same first two bars. And then we're going to play a full D chord and do a pull off again on the E string. Then one more pull off. Then third finger to E3, open D, second finger on E2. Then you're going to do this chord again with E2 and then open E and B. And then that same hammer on again that we've seen before to E3. So that bar is... And then to end the chorus, we're going to do one more hit on A2, and then we're going to play a B minor chord. And so I'm just going to play a simplified B minor chord, and it's going to be A2, D4, G4, and B3. And I'm going to play it in this rhythm. And then you're just going to add that, and that's going to end the chorus. So what we've got for the entire chorus now is this. And that's the full chorus. So now how I played this in the version at the beginning of this video was actually playing a second chorus after that first one. And I just put a few minor changes. So the second chorus is almost the same except for the first two bars. So now instead we're going to start the chorus 2 like this. And then the rest of the chorus is going to be the same. So what we did here is this time second finger on E3, and then play E, G, B, and E. Then pinky onto the 5th fret. And then back to E3 twice. And then to E2. Then all open, E3 twice, to open E. Then A3, and then the chord here, we're going to hold this on A3 to give a nice ringing bass note, and put our first finger on B1, and then the pinky on E3. And then I'm going to play the A string and then the bottom 3 strings. And then we're going to alternate that pinky on and off twice, and on the second time you're also going to play the A string again. So and then D2, G0, then back to this first and third. Then E3 again, and to E2. And you're going to want to play that E2 with your second finger. So chorus 2 now sounds like this. And then from there on, you're going to play the exact same thing we played for the rest of chorus 1 until the very last bar.